Food is the most important element in humans' survival. Without it, we will cease to exist within 3 weeks, assuming that we are hydrated enough to even endure this duration of time. Food gives us important nutrients to help metabolism in order to feed our cells to survive. Therefore, importance of food and how we nourish our body must be scrutinized in order to have healthier body, which will result in wholesome life. The types of food we eat dictate how our mental health would be, which has direct correlation with anxiety and depression. According to a study conducted by researchers in the UK, the quality and type of foods people eat are directly connected with stress level in females and depressive symptoms in both males and females. Thus, lower food quality is related to higher level of depression and stress and vice versa. Consuming higher quality and healthy foods is associated with having lower level of stress and depression among both genders. This study and numerous other researches show us the importance of the food and physical well-being. The way food is made and prepared have gone through lots of changes throughout modern human history. With discovery of fire between 1.7 million to 2 million years ago, the first revolution in food preparation method was made. Fast forward to the end of 15th century, the first recorded stove was built in Alsace, France, in 1490, which was completely built with bricks and tiles and was used for cooking and also heating. Later on, kitchen stoves had gone through numerous changes through the history. Giving detailed information about the stove's timeline will be out of the scope of this video's topic, but the last invention that stepped into kitchens all around the world was microwave oven. With its invention in 1946 and its introduction in 1967 to the public, the last notable addition to the kitchens for the purpose of culinary was settled to be microwave, which took almost 3 decades after public introduction to be accepted by people. With further progresses and advancements in technology, and with ever-changing humans' taste and desire regarding foods, and also to supply the needs of Earth's increasing population, new methods and devices should be invented and created to cope with these changes and shifts in the human society. That advanced and not much appreciated new technology is no other than 3D printing technology, or in other words, additive manufacturing. The 3D printing technology is a method of creating 3-dimensional objects by using 3 axes of X, Y, and Z. The objects are first designed in 3D software such as CAD, abbreviated for computer-aided design, or any other 3D app or software. The programs must have the capability of creating G-code, which results in creating the 3D printed object by a 3D printer. The additive manufacturing has been used in different industries such as aerospace, medical, auto, art, engineering, construction, and very recently in food industry. Although the 3D printing technology has not yet become that prevalent in culinary industry, there are few restaurants and food manufacturers around the world that are applying the technology at their production lines and kitchens. In this video, different types of 3D printing techniques used in food industry and the way they make food will be discussed. Furthermore, the applications of 3D printing technology in the industry will be explained. Also, advantages and disadvantages of the technique compared to contemporary methods of food preparation will be described. In the end, what the future holds for the technology in the food industry will be speculated. The process of 3D printing the objects, regardless of their types, purposes, and applications, follow the same procedure. Creating a 3D printed food is done in previously mentioned 3D software. Then a G-code will be created from a preferred food recipe selected by an individual. Afterwards, the G-code will be sent to the printer and the machine starts printing the food on a flat surfaces such as plate or even as an icing on top of a cake. The edible materials will be printed through a nozzle on a flat surface located within the machine by adding layers of flowing materials until the desired food shape and texture is fully built. There are different types of 3D printers available in the market, such as stereolithography, selective laser sintering, fused deposition modeling, digital light process, multijet fusion, polyjet, direct metal laser sintering, and electron beam melting. For the purpose of this video, the attention will be over 3 main 3D printing techniques that are most common in 3D printing food industry. Those methods are extrusion-based printing, binder jetting, and inkjet printing. Every technique creates different types of food with various textures, flavors, nutrition, and usages. Each of these methods will be explained in details, and companies that manufacture the printers will be mentioned. In extrusion-based printing, the 3D printer forces edible materials out of a nozzle by using constant pressure. The nozzle head can be adjusted to different sizes to extrude materials more precisely and with different diameters. Most common extrusion-based 3D food printers are using syringe-based extrusion system, which is built vertically by having a motor on top of the hopper-shaped structure, and the motor is connected to a plunger by a syringe to extrude the food's material out of the nozzle in a controlled manner. The nozzle moves to shape a 3D printed food. In addition to that, the flat surface located under the nozzle also moves accordingly to create a form that is desired by the person who created the 3D model. With assistance of algorithms and computer automation, shapes and textures can be created that would be hard to be done using conventional food extrusion methods. In extrusion-based printing, edible materials should have low viscosity in order to be able to form a desired shape during the process of food 3D printing. Even though the materials used in extrusion-based 3D printing include soft and pasty edibles such as mashed potato, meat puree, dough, or melted chocolate, the 3D printer works in a way through a complex mechanism to create the food from the aforementioned ingredients while preserving the texture selected in the recipe. The result in shape, quality, and taste of 3D printed food is largely affected by different circumstances and conditions, such as variation of ingredients, the nozzle diameter, movement speed, and extrusion rate. Some of the supermarkets around the world will be going to sell the 3D printed foods. You can simply go to your local fresh food market or supermarket and order your favorite 3D printed food, and the meal will be freshly made on site. Moreover, food capsules can be filled with different ingredients of your taste at the supermarket and when you get home, they can be printed by the food 3D printer. These are all the statements of Lynette Kuksma, co-founder of one of the most innovative and prominent manufacturers of 3D food printers, Natural Machines. The company is located in Spain, and its most advanced 3D food printer is called Foodini. Foodini is an extrusion-based 3D printer which contains 5 capsules that blend different ingredients to make the fresh and awesome foods in the comfort of your home. The 3D printer is powered by Android and has Wi-Fi connection, with which a recipe and 3D model can easily be transferred from a computer to the printer. There are a handful of other 3D food printer companies out there, such as 3D Chef and 3D by Flow, to name a few. Binder jetting is the technique to 3D print an object by selectively depositing a binder onto the powder bed, connecting and bonding powdered particles together to form a solid part one layer at a time. A thin layer of powder is spread by a recoating blade over the built platform. Then a carriage with inkjet nozzles deposits binding agent droplets onto the platform surface to bond the powder particles together. With completion of each layer, the built platform shifts downwards and next layer will be built by a recoating blade, and this continues until the food or any other object is completely structured. During the process of printing the food, each layer is heated to a fixed degree of temperature in a cyclic manner until the completion of the food model. Binder jetting printers are capable of creating complex and intricate materials that will be hard to create by even a professional chef or culinary artists. In order to create complex edible objects by this technique, multiple parameters must coordinate properly together to assure the accuracy and precision of the 3D printed foods. The properties of powdered materials and binder are the two elements that are essential to create a successful 3D printed edible. To prevent a spreading from nozzles, binder must contain adequate levels of viscosity, surface tension, ink density, and suitable properties. The desired precision for creating dimensional parts is also hugely dependent on the binder concentration. Regarding powdered materials, their suitable flowability plays an important role to permit a roller to build up thin layers, facilitating the fabrication with high precision and accuracy. Moreover, the precision of 3D printed objects can be affected by the processing factors such as head types, printing velocity, droplets path, nozzle diameter, and resonance frequency of the head. In order to have the best outcome, the aforementioned processing factors should be properly adjusted. There is a downside, however, for this method of 3D printing. That drawback is the use of powder as the only material to create 3D printed food. The use of only powdered ingredients limits the types of food that can be printed utilizing the binder jetting method. For instance, pastries and other baked goods are the most suitable edibles to be created by this technique due to the fact that they are made of powdered ingredients such as flour, baking powder, and sugar, making it less appealing compared to variety of choices available in traditional food preparation. Let's conclude this part with few advantages that this method of 3D printing has. Binder jetting is really fast in creating 3D printed objects and it has low materials cost. Also, colorful edibles can be printed using binder jetting printers, making it a good option for awesome food presentations. Inkjet printing is the method to create printed edible objects by dispensing droplets. It is used to decorate the foods by creating images on food surfaces such as pizza, cookies, and cakes. Also, it can be applied to make surface fillings, as in meat paste, cheese, jam, and sugar icing. The way this method works is by distributing droplets of edible materials through either by a thermal or piezoelectric head into a surface. There are two methods for inkjet printing. One is continuous jet printing and the other is drop-on-demand printing. In continuous jet printing process, piezoelectric crystal is vibrated at a constant frequency in order to continuously eject the ink onto the printing platform. To achieve desired flowability of the ink, some conductive agents are added to it. In drop-on-demand technique, exerting pressure from a valve causes ink to be ejected from nozzle heads. Drop-on-demand technique has a lower printing speed compared to continuous jet printing. However, produced images with drop-on-demand printers have higher resolution and precision. Due to low viscosity strength in materials used in inkjet printing, the 3D printed objects cannot hold their forms as it is desired. Therefore, the method is widely used to print two-dimensional images and surface fillings. In order to have a successful printing precision and accuracy, compatibility between different factors plays a fundamental role. Those are the compatibilities between ink and substrate surface, viscosity and rheological properties of ink, and temperature and printing rate. Compatibility between ink and substrates surfaces assures the final image quality and resolution. As soon as ink droplets are jetted onto the surface, the interaction behavior of printing elements is affected by the surface chemistry of substrates and that of the ink. It is sometimes important and necessary before printing an image to cover the surface with a binder film or other compatibility enhancing film to improve the compatibility of substrate's surface. Also, viscosity and rheological properties of edible ink is critical to the printing precision and accuracy. In order to print edibles in inkjet printing, ink must contain low viscosity to be able to easily eject through the tiny and narrow orifices of the printhead. Moreover, temperature is another factor to have a successful printing outcome. Temperature can modify rheological properties and surface energy of the inks. For instance, to reduce the spreading tendency of ink across a food surface, a low temperature is applied to lower surface energy. Additionally, the temperature required for a desired viscosity changes by using different ingredients. Last but not least, in order to fully enhance the precision and accuracy of inkjet printing, the proper jetting rates and rapid drying of ink droplets are required. Too much ink jetting to a section results in ink droplets unifying into larger droplets because of the lack of sufficient time for the ink to completely dry, which results in a loss of precision and a poor image quality. The 3D food printing technology has opened lots of doors for improving conventional form of culinary as we know it. There are a handful of areas in the food industry that have been positively impacted by the introduction of 3D food printers. Moreover, some new types of applications have been added to the industry that would not have been possible prior to emergence of the technology. Let's take a look at the domains and areas that are improved and created by the 3D food printing technology. Everyone knows that the main application of food 3D printers is in the restaurants. However, the technology is used rather differently than what current method of food preparation does at restaurants. The 3D food printing technique is not used to take all duties and responsibilities from chefs and cooks in the restaurants. Rather, it is used to alleviate the pressure from them by dividing the tasks between people and printers. The 3D food printers will do tasks such as food decorations to create complex shapes that would take too much of cooks' time in the restaurants. For instance, rather than creating numerous complex food shapes by the hand, food 3D printer can do it with ease in a consistent manner. One of the upscale restaurants in Barcelona, Spain, called La Boscana, headed by Michelin-starred chef Paco Perez, uses Houdini 3D food printers for that purpose. Mr. Perez says that the 3D printer has helped him to create interesting and intricate shapes for food presentation. For instance, he uses 3D printer to transform a seafood puree into an intricate flower-like shape that resembles sea coral. This cannot be easily done by chefs, even by the most professional ones. 3D food printing technology usage in restaurants does not end there. There is a restaurant in London, UK called Food Inc. that is dedicated only to 3D printing foods. Even the furniture and utensils are all 3D printed. Guests in the restaurant have the option to choose 9 different courses made in front of them by the printers from Biflow called Focus. Moreover, 3D food printers can be used at your home, similar to other kitchen appliances such as microwaves and BBQs. Food 3D printer can be used to prepare your desired and favorite foods, although it takes some time for 3D food printers to become a member of our kitchens due to the price and popularity. But if you would like to create unique and attractive foods without you being involved in the creation process and saving some time, then 3D food printer is definitely a good choice for you. Many elderlies suffer from dysphagia, a disorder that makes swallowing an ordeal for senile population. According to a study, between 15 to 25% of elderly people over the age of 50 and about 60% of nursing home residents suffer from chewing and swallowing difficulties. In order to feed them, edibles are made in unappetizing form of porridge-like foods. The texture, taste, and smell of these types of foods would disgust and avert elderlies from eating them, resulting in lack of appetite and malnutrition in many of them. This problem has induced European Union to fund the Performance Project to tackle the issue by designing an automated manufacturing procedure to offer a personalized and especially textured foods utilizing 3D printing technology. With use of 3D food printers, different simulation foods such as peas and gnocchi can be created. imitating their taste and texture. This made old people fall in love again with foods which are easy to swallow due to the fact that the foods are made using soft and pureed texture with tasty flavors similar to the original foods. Furthermore, custom-made and personalized foods can be made by the 3D printers, which differs based on nutritional factors, individuals' age, physical condition, and energy requirements. A survey conducted by the Performance Project researchers regarding 3D printed foods in care homes has shown that the level of satisfaction from 3D printed foods is quite promising. According to the survey, 54% of participants felt the food texture was good, 79% thought the printed food is equivalent to the one prepared by traditionally cooking methods, and 43% preferred the printed foods when dysphagia occurred. Regarding the foods for children, what they eat plays an important role about their well-being. Nowadays, children and adolescents have propensity to eat fast foods and other unhealthy options. If you make a boiled spinach or broccoli, they would be appalled by sighting of those healthy foods. However, by using the 3D food printing technology, new ways to make a healthy food attractive for children can be achieved. According to Natural Machines co-founder, different shapes can be created to make a healthy food appealing. She states that the spinach, which is full of nutrients, does not attract children due to its texture. But with printing a spinach in form of small dinosaurs, the children will be more willing to eat spinach or any other healthy foods. NASA funded a project called Systems and Materials Research Corporation to research 3D printed foods for astronauts and also for deep space travels. In this research, NASA has been investigating the possibility to use 3D food printers for astronauts, especially during long space missions. Currently, astronauts only use frozen preserved foods which have low shelf life, and their nutrients will be destroyed during preservation process. Hence, it is essential to use a technique in order to maintain the food's nutrients, and what technology better than 3D food printing? The powdered material for food 3D printers can be stored for up to 30 years while preserving the proteins, carbohydrates, macronutrients, and micronutrients. Moreover, preserved foods should be kept frozen or stored in refrigerators, which occupy a lot of space in the spaceship and would make it impossible to carry out deep space missions. Instead, by using 3D food printers, dry powdered materials only require flavoring agents, water or oil in order to create 3D printed foods. As anyone knows, every technology has its advantages and disadvantages. Therefore, it is important to shine a light on these aspects. So, before concluding this video, let's take a look at advantages and disadvantages of 3D food printing technology. Here are some of the most important advantages of 3D food printing technology. Usually, in the food industry, food leftovers would be dumped and thrown away. However, by using 3D food printing, those wastes will be recreated again in different shapes and forms that are appealing to people. A leading company in the field is called Upprinting Food, which is located in the Netherlands. According to the company's website, they create 3D printed edibles from food wastes such as bread, vegetables, and fruits. 3D food printer converts the wastes into purees by blending and mixing the different ingredients and flavors from residual food flows. Afterwards, the 3D printed purees are baked and dehydrated to become crunchy and to increase their longevity. Currently, the company creates a handful of recipes from bread and rice, and the company is actively working all the time to innovate new recipes. Also, they are collaborating with high-end restaurants to help them reducing their waste by creating foods from the leftovers and to establish distinctive and a special dining experience. Reducing waste in foods result in sustainable and clean environment, making 3D food printers a worthy addition to the food industry. The 3D food printing technology has opened the way for personalized and customizable foods. With altering ingredients in a digital recipe, an individual can easily create his or her own food in the matter of minutes and send it to the printer software, and then 3D printer starts printing the food. With use of digital instructions, a food for a particular lifestyle, gender, and medical condition with correct percentage of required nutrients can be made. For instance, different vitamins and minerals and precise amount of protein, carbohydrates, or omega-3 fatty acids could be controlled during the process of 3D food printing. In order to create different shapes and forms using conventional culinary methods, you must use molds to create shapes to amaze people and make the foods you consume attractive. Also, in some cases, professional chefs use their hands to create complex designs and decorations for foods. However, as already mentioned, creating intricate and complex designs take a lot of time and dedication from professional and ordinary people who want to prepare a unique dining experience. And in the end, spending too much time does not guarantee creating a food design that you wished to make in the first place. Utilizing 3D food printers to create favorite shapes and designs only requires an already made 3D model to be selected online or created by 3D software such as CAD. By only a click, G-code will be sent to the printer, and the 3D printer creates the 3D design and texture in a way that would not be possible by traditional techniques. Now let's see what are some disadvantages of 3D food printing technique. Although there are some interesting ingredients available for 3D food printers, most of the components of food 3D printers are limited to soft and powdered materials. However, advancements in 3D food printing technology in the future will definitely add more ingredients and various food selections to the technology. In order to create intricate and complex shapes, the 3D food printers need some time to be able to form the desired design that someone would wish for. For a complex texture and shape, for some faster 3D printers could take hours to be able to print the favorable food. However, someone who buys food 3D printers for the sole purpose of creating unique shapes and forms might not care about this disadvantage. At the moment, food 3D printers are not widely used by people. Hence, same as any other new technology, the price to acquire a 3D food printer is rather too high to be seen as feasible option in restaurants or households. For example, Foodini 3D food printer costs $4,000, which is a lot of money for many people. After all the 3D food printing process, the food still needs to be cooked, heated or baked in order to be edible. Also, if the 3D printed food is not cooked, its holding time will be decreased dramatically. Hence, it is necessary to cook the 3D printed foods. Although the companies such as Natural Machines, which makes Foodini 3D food printer, are working on to build printers which are able to bake and cook the 3D printed food during the process of printing. Food industry, restaurants and households still need a lot of time to accept 3D food printing technology in their properties. Similar to any other novel technology, 3D food printing technology has to prove itself worthy of being considered a candidate for the culinary realm. Few issues have to be solved in order to make the technology more appealing in the eyes of people who are interested in the technique. Firstly, the speed of food 3D printers has to be increased in order to be matched with comparable industrial food machines. In a food factory, the machines are built to be agile in order to supply millions of daily demands. However, 3D food printers have the advantage of custom-made foods, which in result will decrease the inventory costs because the demand from customers are known in advance, and factories' warehouses will not be accumulated with unnecessary stocks. Recently, well-known food 3D printer manufacturers are working on to increase the speed of 3D food printers. Of course, this takes some time to become a reality. Secondly, the prices of 3D food printers are too high to be considered feasible and viable for many restaurants and households. Most of the 3D printers are priced higher than almost any high-end stoves, refrigerators and ovens, considering that all of those kitchen appliances do the cooking and preserving of foods in the best possible way. Therefore, those facts make it really hard for 3D food printers to be considered a contender compared to the aforementioned kitchen appliances. With the 3D food printing technology becoming ubiquitous and omnipresent, the prices of the 3D printers will surely decrease to a point that can be purchased by many households. Thirdly, the upkeep of the 3D printing machines and how to keep them hygienic and clean is of great importance, which should be addressed by the manufacturer of 3D printers. Food contamination might be the issue for the 3D food printers, due to the fact that different ingredients are used by same capsules or any other form of containers to create different recipes. Some 3D printed machines are able to print pureed meats and also other forms of food such as vegetables. Thus, it is important to have a clear guideline on how to maintain and clean the 3D printers, which is very different than cleaning a microwave, a stove, oven, or any other form of cooking appliances. Last but not least, the technology has to be accepted by the general public in order to be feasible and to continue existing. Like any other emerging technology, many people would be skeptical from the get-go. Especially in the case of food industry, people will be certainly more worried about their health and safety. Many see the 3D food printing technology as a synthetic way of food production. However, this is not true according to co-founder of Natural Machines. She states that the food created in the method use ingredients that are rich in nutrients and are as safe as any other conventional food ingredients. Ingredients might be different in form, but they are healthy and safe. Nevertheless, the technology has to be promoted further in order to convince the skeptic general public to use the technology. This was the case with microwaves that took almost 3 decades to open its way into people's kitchens. That being said, the 3D food printing will solve lots of problems in the world if applied as soon as possible. Many experts believe that With widely usage of 3D food printers, food shortage can be solved to some extent in countries in need of food. With ever-increasing world population, food scarcity has become more severe every year. 3D food printers could supply food ingredients such as algae and insects, which are nutritious and are cheaper than other foods such as meats. Having 3D food printers present in the areas with a scarcity of foods diminishes the need for logistics, and food will be cheaper and more accessible to people who are in need of it. Moreover, food customization will become more prevalent to a point that it can balance mass production and mass customization. As already mentioned, food 3D printers are suitable for food customization. Anyone can make desirable foods with preferred designs, nutrients, and tastes from comfort of their homes at any time. Therefore, a person does not need to buy all of his or her needs from a supermarket or ordering it online from a retailer or a restaurant. Also, with reusing of the food waste and creating desirable and appetizing foods, the technology would be considered as a sustainable and viable method to help the environment and nature. Seeing the technology in the future, however, regardless of its advantages and disadvantages, all depends on us. If we accept the technology with looking at its benefits and measure them against the drawbacks, we can reach a logical and rational conclusion to whether or not we are going to accept the 3D food printing technology. With progress in the 3D printing technology and changing in cultural norms, we can expect to see the technology in many food factories, restaurants, and homes within next decade or so. The 3D printing technology will definitely be the new era in the way the food is being created.